as if I'm a new artist, number one, my biggest concern as an artist would be to create leverage. As the music industry shifts and evolves, you have to find pockets that are real. Like for example, if you really curate your fan base, and like Russ is the other example. Whenever Russ steps out, he pulls like 10,000, 20,000 people, 30,000 people for his shows, and he makes enough money for that.
This is Hendrik Sam.
What's up, guys, and welcome to episode 107 of the 30% podcast, the show where two music producers take on the Kenyan music industry, give you our opinions on music from the week, and then top it off by trying to be wise at the end. I go by Afobefuna. My co-host goes by Sam Are Jedediah. And together, we are the 30% pod boys. Sam, what's up?
What's up? What's going on?
Sam?
I don't know what you're doing.
It's an intro. What do you mean you don't know what I'm doing? I'm doing an intro.
Sure, man. Have a blast. That's what's going on.
How are you, Sam? The people want to know. What is Sam feeling in the moment?
You speak for the people. I am feeling. How am I feeling? I don't know. I'm all right.
Are you feeling irie?
I'm guessing irie is a fancy way of saying all right.
I think so. I don't
Sounds
know.
like it, doesn't it? Just sounds like people.
Sam, are you okay? Sam, what's happening?
Yeah, anyway,
you're skirting around this question.
I'm fine.
I'm beginning to be worried.
I'm good.
Okay, you're fine. Okay, that's good. This
part is always so awkward. It's like, why are you asking me?
Why?
Why are you asking me how I'm doing?
Because the thing is, it's not about me, because I know you're doing fine, but it's about the people. The people want to know, how is Sam doing?
They don't want to hear what I'm talking about. Is how my health. They don't care about my health. They want to.
Yes, they do. Why are you just assuming?
In shambles. That's what they care about.
No. Why are you putting mouths in their words? Why are you putting words in their mouths? Sam?
Oh man.
Anyway,
I'm putting words in their ears.
I shall ask myself how I'm doing, which unless you want to ask me how I'm doing.
Yo, man. Oh, this is crazy. Okay, all right. Afam, how are you doing?
Yeah.
How is your health? How's your mental? How's your family?
Thank you so much for asking. I think that's very, very considerate of you. And I would say I am doing fine. I'm doing okay. My health is fine. I'm doing fine. This week was a blur. Nothing too crazy to report on, on my end. I can just say I am living life.
Living life.
Yes.
The best you can do.
I'm living life. Sam. What's going on? I feel like listen, guys, this is a music industry podcast. And yes, we do focus on Kenyan music industry news. That's always number one. But sometimes in the music industry environment, in the music industry universe, things happen which just kind of break boundaries and have to be talked about, because ultimately they could potentially affect the music industry as a whole, even if they didn't necessarily occur in your localized music industry space. And what I am alluding to is the bombastic bombshell. Like, it was provocative. Everybody was in a meltdown. Like, oh my God, he actually sued UMG. And by he, I mean Drake. Sam, where were you when it happened? You know how when something significant in the world happens, and then somebody's like, where were you when it happened?
Oh, bro.
Okay. To be serious, how did you like?
No, yeah.
Should I? Okay.
No, it's cool. I mean, I know what you're talking about. Let's just
okay,
continue.
go ahead.
Let's just continue. UMG and Drake. First of all, let's start by saying this is just not great timing from Drake, but anyhow, he chose the most disastrous PR time to possibly and it's not a suit. Let's start there. At least from what we're hearing,
it's a pre-trial thing.
Yeah, it's a petition.
Like, yeah,
it's a petition. So essentially, what it is Drake. I mean, there are many ways to spin it, but then Drake is basically saying, "Hey guys, I smell a rat. I smelled something fishy here. However, I don't have all the evidence to properly throw in like an actual suit. So I want the court to compel y'all to tell UMG to show us the documents and show us, to show us the receipts, so that now I can, so now I can properly sue you." So that's essentially what it is. So it's not necessarily a suit. Both of them actually. So he dropped two. There's the first one to UMG, and then there's the second one, which is.
They're both to UMG, but the first one, I believe he filed it in New York. The second one, I believe he filed it in Texas. I don't know what the significance of doing that is.
Yeah.
I think the second one, the second one is more about payola and how they've been paying like entities like iHeartRadio to like inflate the song and all that type of stuff. The first one was more really about how they've been using bots and artificially inflating the song, and like people saying, "Hey Siri, play me this song," and then all of a sudden, not like us, is playing, "Oh my gosh, I said hey Siri on my phone, bro, please stop." Anyway, so yeah, that's essentially what I gather. So for the first suit, essentially, the reason why this is very, very important is he has a few claims here that are crazy. One is that Spotify and UMG came to the conclusion that they would reduce the licensing for the track Not Like Us by 30%, and therefore Spotify would be happy, very happy, because now they're paying 30% less than they usually pay for music to stream it and upstream it and put it everywhere on their platform so that it does better than it should. Now, Sam, are you surprised by this? That these entities with so much integrity, they what do you call them? They uphold every pillar,
the highest of moral standards.
Exactly. Are you surprised that this is happening in our industry?
UMG said some nonsense. What did they say in their response to the suit? They said that they could never engage in
Yeah. That was hilarious. I actually think that was hilarious. That's like a joke.
That's comedy.
Anyway.
Talking about we could never engage. So, all right. So here's the thing now. Now this gets polarizing. The reason that this whole thing is very polarizing is just because of what it's coming off. It's coming off a beef that everyone thinks Drake lost.
I think he definitely lost. I think it's the prevailing agreement that he lost.
Yeah, well, no.
Go ahead.
There's some Ovio fans on Twitter who are very adamant that Kendrick lost by a mile. But
delusional.
Yeah, so everyone thinks many people feel like Drake lost the battle, so they feel like he's Drake has always had, and this is just the beef part. This is like the least part. We'll get over this and then get to the real. But it's somehow attached. Everyone feels like Drake has he's a little bit of a for lack of better words, they call him a Karen, right? Like he's a cosplayer in the industry. That's what they call him. So I feel like he lost, and this is him just being a baby about it. and suing, because the thought is that would he have still made the suit or gone against UMG if this whole him versus Kendrick thing didn't go the way it went. So that's that. So the timing is crazy for his PR, but then in terms of what the actual suit is talking about, there's so many ways that you can spin it. First off, there's the argument that, and I actually want to find out from you because I'm interested, because I know you're a Drake fan. What do you think about the people who are saying that everything he's suing Kendrick of, he's benefited from?
It's true. But you see, that's the thing.
Suing UMG, not Kendrick, UMG.
Yeah. So you see, UMG can't, like, obviously, Drake benefits from all this, like, tactics.
Yeah.
Of course he does. But you see, the thing is, UMG can't say, well, you also benefit from the same, because then they would be implicating themselves in doing these tactics in the past. So that's where they kind of, their lips are sealed. For me, I think, well, one, I feel like there's also a little bit of politics here, because Drake is, I think he's about to renegotiate his contract with UMG. So these are games being played. Apparently, they're trying to insinuate that UMG have they really went out of their way to make Kendrick win so that they could depreciate Drake's value, therefore lowballing him for his next deal. In his previous deal, it's always been reported that he was given like $400 million. Apparently now he's asking for like 600 and then renegotiation or something. I don't know what he's asking for. He's probably asking for some crazy number, right? And they're trying to like, they're trying to, because the renegotiation is coming around, they're trying to like depreciate his value. Some of those games. And I think Drake, on the other hand, is trying to get away from UMG. So they're kind of saying that this is him just trying to like break up that relationship as well. So what this opens Drake up to, though, is something similar to like what happened to Diddy, because it always starts with you trying to take down a big dog. Because UMG is not a small fish. UMG is backed by so many higher powers. Like y'all just do your Googles and see who owns UMG, and the findings will be very, very interesting. And those entities that own things like the UMG label, money. It's just very paid individuals. So I think Drake should be careful, because this might like result into like a takedown from him. I've already seen things trending online about like Drake is behind XXXTentacion's death, and all those things are starting to come back around. And these are games. All these things are games. Like people like, because UMG can't say that angle of like, even Drake has benefit. They can't use that, because that will also implicate them. So now they're gonna be dirty and like bring up any dirt they can find on Drake. And I think Drake has a lot of dirt under the cover. I think he's also offended and being very arrogant in his tenure. So he's not in a good position. He has very few friends. But let's not make this about Drake and whatever. I think the main reason as to why we wanted to bring this up is, what are the implications like on us, or like what can we take from this, like even us in our Kenyan music industry? And for one, I think the biggest one is the music industry is such a load of bullshit. Like, it's all such games and like inflating numbers and paying off radio and doing all this type of stuff. That's what it is. Like, and Drake is whistleblowing it, right? And he's doing it like to be petty, but what he's saying about the music industry is true. Like, Sam, do you disagree with that? Like, the reasons as to why he's bringing it up is petty, and honestly, I think it's distasteful. But what he's saying is true about the industry. like using bots, brokering deals, which is essentially insider trading with Spotify, like manipulating the value of what a
Payola.
stream is, like, and all that type of shit. Like it's such bullshit. And it's the reason why people like us in Kenya, our stream is worth nothing, because all these people, they are the ones who control how much the value of a stream is, how much, you know what I mean? Like it's like they create the rules, and that's so frustrating. Like imagine Spotify and UMG deciding how much the value of a stream is, and that ends up paying themselves. I don't know if like it's like the game is already rigged from the jump, right? And it's the music industry is just a game, and it's just like we are all just pawns, and it's you feel lost in this thing. I don't know. That, for me, that's my biggest takeaway is like, to succeed in the music industry, you might have to just play the game. You just have to play the game, and it's dirty, and it's insanely like, you know how like Steph Capella was always talking about payola and all that type of shit. Bro, you have to play the game. Anyway, Sam, what do you think? What's your like takeaway from all this, and like how it affects us as Kenyan artists in the Kenyan music industry?
I mean, even before we get there, I feel like it's the right message. Again, it's the right message. I feel like it's the right message, wrong messenger. But it's almost right message, wrong right. There are not many artists who have as much leverage as Drake has, right? If we're naming like a couple, probably Drake, Taylor Swift, maybe Kanye, but Kanye doesn't care about labels anymore. He's doing whatever he wants to do. There are very few artists in that, on that level rather. So if there's anyone who would at least make some noise, because if it was like a smaller artist, this story would have been like buried long before it came out.
It wouldn't make waves.
Exactly. But because it's him, and the timing of it is also bringing like more light to it. It's interesting. Now, one thing we're going to, and this happens in all industries. It happens, in fact, there's probably stories of the Kenyan industry where people have disagreed with the gatekeepers, disagreed with the people who own, who have the important relationships with radio and distribution and all that, and then their career has gone quiet. Drake is doing something very difficult, because it could end up in two ways. One, he could probably realize that he's just a pawn, and as much as he has like a huge market share in music, or like some decent amount of market share in music. The music industry is way bigger than he is. And so then that ends up being a fight for nothing, because they're just going to, all right, you don't want to agree with us, you don't want to step in line. Like you said, when people decide they're not going to step in line, they usually kick to the curb.
But do you find it interesting that an artist as big as Kendrick needs to rely on bots?
So now it gets to a very interesting conversation, because an artist as big as Kendrick shouldn't have to rely on bots. I feel like the music industry has created a framework of what's successful, right from the simple determining the worth of a stream to determining how successful your music has to be before it moves whatever needle they want it to move. And so in doing that, they've sort of created the environment that, okay, for us to actually feel like we're successful, your music has to do this much. And artists are not doing, music consumption in general is declining.
I think so.
And so for artists to do the numbers that they want them to do, or that would be successful, they have, if you really think about it, it's weird. So they're allegedly bought in the streams, and like what you said in the beginning, they're bought in the streams so they can play. It's almost an infinite money glitch, so that they can pay themselves. And
Imagine. Do you not see how crazy that is?
it's so weird. But yeah, it's sad, unfortunately, because who suffers is the artist suffer. I mean, I would really love to see the industry without bots. Like, Afam, can you just believe? Like, what if we went onto Spotify and we took off all the botted?
Embarrassing. It would be
Oh,
embarrassing.
man. Yeah, the only person doing
and listen, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy because right now artists are struggling. Like if an artist cracks 300K first week, if an artist does 200K first week,
Yeah.
we are like, you're up there. You know what I mean? Like and back in the day that never used to be the case. Because back in the day, people used to do 1 million, whatever, and those are just regular,
and not too
people.
far off.
They weren't regular.
Yeah,
they weren't regular people, but like they could do it. Now, if you even crack 250,
it's
you're
successful.
hailed
It's
as
crazy,
whatever, and that is with streams which you don't even know how legitimate they are in the first place. So what are we really talking about here?
Yeah.
Are we talking about 100K? You know, somebody does like what's the ratio of real to fake streams? Is it 50-50? It could be, but I wouldn't put it past any of these people, man.
I mean, if you go on like
and
if
even
you go on like Instagram, and the correlation to that would be like how many of all the top followed accounts on Instagram, how many of those are bots? You know, the comments and the likes. It's all mirrors and smoke and.
So
and
Sam,
soot.
you're a new artist. You're seeing all this happening. What are you taking? What's your takeaway from this?
Well, the first thing is the only reason. Okay, UMG.
Well, just to add to that, because things like payola, like as much as it's frowned upon, it's very much a thing. So, do you partake? Just to expand on my question, do you partake in what everyone else is doing in the music industry, or do you stay streamlined and just hope that your music pops off organically? But I feel like the word organic doesn't have any standing in the music industry.
No such thing.
So yeah, that's just my entire question. Yeah.
So the whole problem is that music has moved on to tech now, and so that's what makes it a little bit different. So the streamers the streaming is a tech game. Even the music labels at this point, they're playing the tech game. As if I'm a new artist, number one, my biggest concern as an artist would be to create leverage. As the music industry shifts and evolves, you have to find pockets that are real. Like for example, if you really curate your fan base, and like Russ is the other example. Whenever Russ steps out, he pulls like 10,000, 20,000 people, 30,000 people for his shows, and he makes enough money for that from that to. He's not worried about streams. That's why he can just release. He releases music on and on and on and on. But then his focus is to have enough so that when he steps out into a show, he pulls enough people who are paying for him, and the return from that is greater than the return from a stream. So leverage is a huge thing.
Are you trying to say that in today's age, like a new artist should be trying to go against the status quo, which is streaming and doing things in real life? So are you saying we should bring back like CDs and cassette tapes and try and like if like let's say an artist is able to sell 5,000 CDs in the first week of them releasing music, is there more value in that than selling 60,000 or doing 60,000 streams first week? Or no, doing 60,000 like in the conventional way, the way they counted first week?
Well, partly yes, there's value in that. As an artist, you have to figure out a different way to make money. Streaming is, the primary way of counting numbers is always going to be there. So streaming is, and looking at those numbers is always going, because we need a reference point for things, right? But then as an artist, you have to figure out other ways of making money that outside of the streaming. Like you have to go against that, like outside of streaming. Fine, play towards Spotify and ensure that they put you on playlists and whatnot, but then also curate like a proper fan base and your people who
think about it, Sam. Imagine if you're an artist and you price your CD at 1,000 bob and you sell 100 of them in 1 week. That's 100K.
Yeah. Speaking about that, what's his name? Mordecai Dex. He released a project recently, and I haven't gotten to it yet. But then he didn't drop it on streaming. It's on you have to buy it from like one of these shops. I think it's Hustle Salsa or something like that. Which I saw, and that was like super super cool because he's been teasing it for a while on TikTok and like platforms. And then he's dropped something, and you can't just get it on streaming. That's cool. Like that's what artists should be doing. And for artists here locally, like even though they used to do it back then, but I feel like it's slowed down. Where even though you release your stuff on your music on streaming, you also have links to it in like the local electronic shops, and that's it. And then
the problem
direct especially since we don't have like like if it's a UMG. Then the label will force you to direct it to where they want to direct. But here, most artists are independent. Even the labels operate as independent labels, right? So, as an artist, you really can direct your fans to wherever you need to get, wherever you can get that money from. That just helps you build leverage. Leverage is super important in the industry. If you don't have any leverage, your contracts will be terrible. People will use you, and it's unapologetic. The music industry doesn't care about nobody, man. Like it's a very, very, very ruthless industry. Very ruthless. So
yeah, but I think what people are doing is they're trying to create that leverage using these tech means that are not above board, like essentially like botting. I know a lot of like underground artists will use bots, and then they'll say, yeah, look, I have a million monthly listeners, right?
Shooting yourself in the foot.
A lot of it is botted.
Yeah.
And bro, these people can check the back end, but that's what a lot of people try and use as leverage, which doesn't work. So I guess then the answer is to create like a real demand for your music.
Yeah.
But
do something unique. Do something.
But you see, now the thing is, are you sacrificing being mainstream over at least having a little bit of
rich
like financial security, which I think is better to have financial security than being mainstream. Because there are artists who are not mainstream at all, but they can survive off their art. Because let's say they have
there's
500
artists,
people who will always pay for like their merchandise and their music, and that's fine for them. Like they don't even want to be mainstream.
Yeah.
Because bro, the people you're competing against have the machine, like Drake and Kendrick and all these guys. They have the machine behind them. Like you're not gonna.
Theirs is not even the machine. Theirs is like the machinist of all machines. Because there's normal artists who have a machine behind them, and when they want to release they want to release an album. The machine goes to work for them, and the buttons are pressed. Very tiny buttons, very tiny, less shiny buttons. But then those buttons are pressed, and then music just starts moving. But then, like on Drake and Kendrick's level, like that's just like the whole of UMG. Like it's a machine. That specific situation is huge because it's gone past just music. It's now more culture.
Exactly.
And so the label looks at it as a more valuable thing just because it moves more.
So to the people who are listening to this, I just want you guys to know, always be skeptical on everything that you see. I remember there's a few podcasts ago where like we were talking about, I kind of hinted at, the Boomplay numbers and stuff like that. Maybe I wouldn't take them to... Let me just tell you guys, if you see all these lists and you see numbers and you're like, this person is doing 30 million there, bro, trust me, then like
trust nobody.
If you think only Drake and Kendrick are manufacturing these numbers and using bots, you'd be sorely surprised to find out that this game is being played even more rampantly in our industries because I think there's less like monitoring of the situation. So
cops.
people, this is the Wild West. Like everyone is just like moving mad. So all these things and numbers easily manipulated, easily like you can create and some people might view it as smart because if you create like a facade and you use that as leverage and then get like an actual deal or an actual paycheck out of it, then you finessed the system in some way. You know what I mean? Like if you make it seem like you have 100,000 monthly listeners and then you approach like let's say like shows and stuff, and you're like, oh, listen, these are my numbers, this is what I'm doing, like you all should just like trust that I can bring like,
Yeah.
but I can bring value to the table. Then I guess that's what a lot of people do, and some people are successful off it. It's just embarrassing when you can show, when you claim to have a bunch of streams, and then when you do shows and stuff.
Yeah, and then it doesn't translate.
And that happens.
It does not translate
that
at all.
happens.
Yeah.
It happens more than you would think. It happens more than you. I was listening to some podcast where some guy was talking about how it happens like even in the highest of levels, like even with people like Young Thug, like, and why he had to downsize like the venues he was performing at. And I was like, what? Even Young Thug? I thought everyone loves Young Thug.
No one is safe.
Listen, it's crazy. It's crazy. For me, I think my biggest takeaway is, and even I think I need to implement this in my own like musical journey, is trying to create like a real and tangible fan base and actual people be invested in the music, because you can get very, very sucked into the world of trying to like show that you have numbers. Anything that's numbers based, trust me, it's been tampered with.
For the most part.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Prayers to everybody involved.
For the most part. I mean, an interesting...
but... Mm-hmm.
No, I was just no, did you have anything else on this?
No, I'm just going to say I'm interested to see how it turns out. This is a very, very huge case and very, very important for the music industry. Like a lot is going to happen with this case, with how it goes. So it's just something that we have to report on, because I think the ramifications of what comes out of it will even impact us over here. So it's important to pay attention to.
I feel like UMG are going to find their way around it, honestly. They're too big of a machine. They're too big of a machine. UMG is not even, as much as as artists, we're looking at UMG like, okay, they have the largest market share in terms of music, and they're the big dogs. There's people in a boardroom somewhere looking at UMG as their least profitable asset. So
yes, exactly.
Yeah,
like the people who have like this high stakes in UMG. Just do your Google. It's not hard. You'll find them. Kanye West always rants about all these things, but that's the thing about Kanye West. He always rants, and then he'll name drop someone, and he's like, "Who is that person?" And then you'll Google them a bit, and he'll be like, "Oh, this is the person who owns the company that owns UMG." And you're like, "Wow!"
And those are the people he wants to fight. Those are the people he wants to fight against. I feel like artists like Drake and Taylor Swift and them probably feel like they have enough leverage to bypass the...
Nope, y'all are pawns. These people know that if they just put, you know what, they turn it down a little bit, y'all are finished out here. Like they can tamper with Taylor and Drake's like numbers easily if they wanted to.
Yeah. Anyway, listen, we'll keep an eye out for that. Drake though, Drake needs to go sit down somewhere. He needs to take a break.
Yeah, that was not very hip hop of him.
He needs to take a break, man. You can't get sued. You can't go dissing and then say everything you said, and then y'all are fighting, and then you go crying.
Yeah, it's actually embarrassing. As a hip hop person, you have to just take it on the. You have to take that L, man. Chin.
You have to take that L. And you did the same thing to him. Well, not people say it's not as bad, but then you also like it's still defamation. You could sue for defamation also, so it's kind of crazy.
He did the same thing essentially, yeah. But speaking of else, Sam, tell me what's happening with our shows right now, because it's not looking good, bruv. Yeah. It's not looking good.
I mean, one of the ways you can make leverage as an artist is through your live shows. Uncle Waffles was recently Uncle Waffles was recently in Kenya.
Why are you laughing at Uncle Waffles?
Nah, that her name. We need to do like a draft of the my favorite artist names. Uncle Waffles has to be up there. Just calling
And
yourself
XXX
Uncle
Tentacion
Waffles
for me is up
as
there.
a female DJ is just like it's
See, it's like a
based.
male DJ going by Auntie Pancakes or something.
That's that's not good.
I'm rocking with it by day. Actually,
Anti-pancakes is the worst.
yeah, it's like it's provocative.
Yeah, it's
like, why did you choose to name
but
yourself
no.
Uncle?
A female DJ being called Uncle Waffles is more provocative than a male being called Anti-pancakes. Uncle Waffles I can tell because that seems that's bold. That's bold. It's a bit brash and out there. Anti-pancakes is not.
Yeah.
Is not much. Anyway, so she was. I mean, so she's a DJ. Mostly Amapiano stuff, right? She's kind of big in South Africa, and she's been hopping around playing for her fans. So she came here, woe to her, thinking that she'll have a great time. Maybe she did. No one knows. However, walifanya ile kitu. They did their thing. The event organizers did what we expected them to do. Exactly to the T. In fact, this time they went a little bit further because it turns out that a couple of people left with tear gas in their eyes and just hate in their hearts. So, I mean, she had a show, from what we know, she had a show and it wasn't organized properly. It got a little bit, how do you put it? It got a bit scrappy, a bit disorganized, I guess, for lack of a better word. And people end up running around, stampedes, and police and law enforcement.
And then apparently she only performed for like half an hour or something of the sort.
Yeah.
So very disappointing. They said there were like 10,000 people who
showed up for her show.
Who showed up, which, man, that's a huge disappointment. And she released a statement where she says, "I'm extremely disappointed and shattered by the way For the Love of Amapiano handled this event," which is something I have been looking forward to for a while. From sound issues, even before my performance, to my team being mishandled, this wasn't something I expected at all. What has disappointed me most, though, is how my Kenyan supporters were treated by the organizers and security at the event. People were pushed around, mishandled, and threatened with the least amount of care. And that is something I will not stand for. The safety and well-being of people who come out to support me and this genre is my top priority. And I could not play my set any longer while people were visibly uncomfortable and at risk of getting hurt. You can read the rest of her statement on her social media. But I'm really disappointed because, okay, yes, the safety aspect for one, but even sound, bro. Like, even the event that had Lauryn Hill, that was a huge issue as well. The sound. Like, how are we still not able to figure out some of these basic things in 2024?
It's like the Kenyan government. They never learn. It was raining earlier in the year, and it just rained recently, and there's still floods. I don't know why people just don't want to correct
learns
things.
from the past. Yeah. I saw someone saying, and it's so true. Like if Kenya had like really bad weather, like if we had tornadoes and storms and all that type of shit, we would be screwed. If you had earthquakes, we would be so unprepared for that shit. Done. And it's just like, bro, like you have an event that goes so bad. Like, bro, Boys to Men. Remember we talked about Boys to Men a lot last year. Like that happened a year ago. Surely we're learning from our like mistakes, right?
Do you know what I feel like? I feel like there's a few problems here. First off, I just want to say this is a perfect opportunity for someone who wants to get it right.
Let's be that someone.
To just get in.
Let's go. Let's be that someone.
Yeah, it could be that someone. This is and I'm being for real. Like this is such an opportunity for someone who really, and there's a lot of people who are amplifying the voices of like live music out there. There's a lot of I feel like people are moving very individually, and there are few individuals who want to profit off the live scene like that, and it doesn't seem like they really care much.
But it's gonna be hard.
This is just my thoughts.
It's gonna be hard because I know what's gonna happen.
Doesn't seem like they care much.
People who have held like, I'm not gonna say any names, but the people who are known to provide a lot of live sound, and all that like stage setup situation and all that. Those people, you think they're gonna like go down without swinging? They're gonna find ways to sabotage all the new people in the space. Because that's just how that's the problem with our industry. Do you know what, Sam?
Well-
That's the problem with our industry. Our industry is the people at the top make it impossible for new things to thrive. And that I'm sorry, it just has to be said. Even with artists, that happens all the fucking time. And that's what would happen like in this space as well. And that's why our industry does not grow. Because like these older acts who have, and by acts I mean like even the people who have provided these services from time, or the artists and stuff like that, they want to remain in power. They want to be the ones getting all these contracts and all this money, and they that's just how it is.
It is. But I guess so. Somehow the international shows keep doing badly, but then in terms of the local shows, we at least have a little bit of successes. Over the weekend, there were a few ones that kicked off. Blinky Bill's, I heard very, very good things. I wasn't able to go, but I heard very good things about Blinky Bill's show and his performance, and that went absolutely fantastic, according to what folks are saying. That was great. I saw Watanda outside also. This is cool. See, I like what they're doing. And we keep talking about it. Like they're pushing. This is like a post release for the album. Sure, they dropped the project on wherever you want to get it digitally and everything. But then they're still on ground pushing and creating connections between themselves, the album, and their fans. And it just helps. Like it gives the project more legs, which is really cool. I think, which is really cool. So yeah, they've been outside doing a bunch of shows. They've done a whole bunch now, like more listening album launches. So yeah, man, shout out to them.
Also, so just give me the light and pass the joy. I saw
What was that?
Sean Paul.
What was that again?
No, I'm not gonna do it again.
finish the
I've
hook.
done it once. It's there. It's gonna be there forever. So anyway, Sean Paul also performed. I saw Red Sun was on the ticket as well. Did I see good things? I saw mixed reviews. I'm not gonna lie. But it's show season, man. Everyone is performing. So
It is
crazy.
December sherehe season. Everyone is going crazy.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that's cool. Shout out to everyone out there who is planning a show.
But guys, let's not be tear gassing like event goers. Like honestly, people are going out there to have a good time. Like, what are we doing?
Mandamano.
Yeah, it's not mandamano. Let's not like, bro. There's no stampedes, no situations where people should feel like panic. You know what I mean? Like, we don't want that. You're supposed to be in a show to experience good music and have good vibes, right? So let's do better, man, because shows are a big part of the music industry and we need them to,
Yeah,
so.
for sure. Artists need them. Speaking of shows, so I just wanted to highlight something. I mean, I don't know why I'm highlighting this specific one, but Nikita Kering announced her first tour in America, which is she has 4 dates today, yesterday, December 1st, and then she has 3 more dates in December. She's going to Seattle, Washington, and Boston, and Atlanta. Atlanta was the one that has passed, though.
She's going to Seattle.
Cool. Yep.
Interesting. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so I mean that's cool. We love to see it. We had talked about it earlier when I think it was Nyashinsky was going out there, and then he wasn't able to go out with his whole team because of the whole visa issue. Unfortunately, we have to report on that again. Sofiya Nzau is the latest victim to visa woes, and she was also planning to go out to the States, which is where her music really popped up with Marky. So that would have been really cool to see her out there. But unfortunately, we have to announce that she was she denied visas? She said she couldn't
get the visa.
Yeah, which is kind of crazy, man. It's unfortunate. So I did a little bit of a deep dive because I wanted to find out how this actually works. And from now, of course, from this will just be the United States. I'm sure different countries have their different entry requirements, but then there's a form, not a form. There's a visa that works specifically for artists, which is called the P2 visa, individual performer rights, whatever. So there are a couple of criteria. Now, when I was reading it and just doing a little bit of research, we're kind of cooked.
Why?
We are cooked because so it says that the classification, P2 classification, applies to you if you're coming temporarily to perform as an artist or entertainer, individually or part of a group, who will perform under a reciprocal exchange program between an organization in the United States and an organization with another country. And then it says the eligibility. You must be an artist entering the United States through a government-recognized reciprocal exchange program. Right there, man. Right there, we're cooked because Kenya's government doesn't seem to care about artists enough to figure this out. So, and then it shows the process and everything you need. But then it seems like this, for you to get this visa, there has to be some sort of a covering in terms of the artist board, or you have to belong to some sort of artist board for you to be able to get like this specific visa, which is the one legal way you can go about getting visas, unless you just apply and then figure it out in that way. It's sad, man. And of course, I don't know the full details. I'm actually really interested because this is important stuff if you want to plan tours to the US. Hopefully Nikita won't, she's probably already over there, so she doesn't have to go through this. But yeah, man, I don't know. I mean, I really don't know. We keep going through the same thing, and it's just making from the concert woes to people being denied visas going out. It makes the Kenyan industry look like such an amateur place.
That's like because it boys. It's amateur hour over here, man. Oh. So, well, it has to be said. A lot of
it's kind of crazy.
To be honest, Sam, the thing that you said about seeing, some people might see this as a problem, other people might see this as an opportunity. There's actually a lot that needs to be done, and there's a lot of opportunity to do these things. So, hey, if you're invested, if you're listening to this podcast right now, and you have an idea and you think, somebody has probably thought of it already. Probably not. Like, there's a lot that's lacking with our industry. So, yeah. Also, in the tour circuit, it looks like Ben Soul is also going to be doing a show in Australia, or a bunch of shows. I saw
going to go meet Drake over there.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah, I saw the Anita Max Win tour. Anyway, I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. I saw he announced like a 30% discount on Black Friday for his tickets for Australia. So, if you are in Australia, this is between 6th and 14th. Go support the boy Ben Soul, man. So shout out to him.
Both boys out there.
Sam,
do you think we'll see a Ben Soul collab?
I wouldn't put it past Ben Soul. I believe in the boy. So listen, we'll hear Suda on a Drake song, So you don't, Sam, say something.
So new music, right? Let's get into new music.
Wow.
We talked about we interviewed the one of the members of the Decimators.
Decimal Records founder.
Mr. Musyoks, legend in the game. Kevin. No, his name is. I was going to call him Kevin. Eric Musyoka. Sorry, man.
No, but I see how you can make a mistake between Kevin and Eric. They're in the same ballpark of names. I see the vision. Sorry.
Ballpark of names.
Yeah.
Wait. That's such a weird concept. So wait, what are you talking about? So there's like clubs and like groups of different names.
Yeah, it's like how
this could go so wrong.
It's like how Judy and Janice, they're just like twins, Judy and Janice are twins. You know what I mean?
This is wrong, man.
Why?
There's people who are offended.
It's like, why?
Completely offended at what you're talking about now.
How?
You can't put people into names like that. You can't do that.
No, it's like
Peter and Matthew, Peter and Paul.
Yeah, but that's because of the Bible, because those are biblical names. But it does make sense what you've said. No?
No, it doesn't. The decimeters styled DCMTRS.
It's like Andrew and Samuel.
Right.
Andrew and Samuel are just twins.
No, not at all.
Yes.
Not at all.
Sam and Andrew. Oh, they should be brothers. Anyway, sorry.
No, not at all. Yeah, so, Bonai, we have Concordi, we have Brian Nadra Mwangi, and Eric Musyoka producing. So it's cool. So they dropped a project called Buds and Bees. It is 10 songs long. It runs for 36 minutes and 47 seconds. It was interesting. Did you listen to it? What do you think?
I did. I listened to the entire project. So shout out to Musyoks and also thank you. And shout out to Hendrik Sam as well, because he produced on a bunch of tracks. I guess the song that they wanted us to kind of perceive as the standout track was Pina Colada, which had the legendary Bien on. But to be honest, that wasn't my favorite song on the project. My favorite song on the project was actually Julieta. And I don't know why. I just have a liking towards that song. Ultimately, I think I like it. The production is really good. I think songs like Ghetto have really good production. Hendrik Sam is a big part of that. And they also went very experimental with it. They tried to do a bunch of different genres here and there. So I like that. I like
Boss. Yope. No, I'm saying like with Boss, they did that more like a Lingala sound, and then I don't know whether it's Dunyu or I think it's Dunyu, which was more like EDM based, and then they have like some
yes.
Am I getting that wrong?
No, you're right. You're right. And then Bon was more like
sounds in there.
Yeah. Exactly. So it's a dope project. So y'all peep that. Buds and Bees. I also listened to another project, Sam, that was just phenomenal, and that is Pak Ruok. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it properly. Please correct. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But Pak Ruok by Labdi is honestly, Sam, phenomenal. From the artwork to the music. Listen, Labdi, true artist. Like, that artwork is phenomenal. It's so insane. And then, bro, I was like, okay, I know what Labdi is about, right? So I knew what to expect. But one thing that stands out about Labdi's music is the engineering. I think her music is really, really mixed
it sounds good.
Well. Her vocals are so prominent and so tasty. They're so crisp. And then you can see there's a defined plan, because she'll have vocals that are really up front, and then she'll have vocals that are really reverbed and to the back, and all of them just mix, and they just paint a phenomenal picture. And then to top it off, she produces her own tracks. So everything you listen to is Labdi. Her whole essence is in these songs. And then she had one of the best, this just makes sense collaboration-wise. Costa Ojwang, we already know what Costa Ojwang is about. If he's about to work with an artist, it's Labdi. And that actually ended up being my favorite song, Awee. It's what a song. It's just so nice. And the thing is, I don't even know what they're saying because I don't understand Luo. But bro, I feel that shit in my bones, man. I'm listening to this stuff and I'm like, I feel this in my soul. I don't know what you're saying, but you're saying that shit and I agree. That's how I feel.
You could be cursing my forefathers for you're singing.
Bro, I would learn the language. I learned the Luo just so that I can understand what she's saying, man. This shit is insane. I think I can't speak more highly of a project than Pakruok by Labdi. And if anything, y'all need to listen to this. I think I was even saying, I tweeted this. I think if Colors comes back around to Kenya, please please, I am begging. No, why are you saying I am begging. Labdi needs to be on Colors, man. Because the fuck? This is what people need to be seeing, like coming in to or getting into Kenyan music. Like Labdi is insane. Or whatever. Actually, it's not just Colors. Whatever like international platforms, come in the future, please. Labdi, one of them. Other music, Sam, did you listen to anything else?
Yeah, I mean, I'll just run through a couple of songs. Mrumbi and Jiru dropped from the other side. He was on the podcast a couple of weeks ago. He said that he was releasing one last song for the year, and he brung that. So go check that out. I enjoyed that one. Let's see who else dropped some music. Asam Gavi released a project. What's the name of that project? What's the name of the project? I forgot, but it's a 4-song. Sorry, let me pull it up. It's called Dawn, Disc 1. So I'm guessing there's a couple of more discs coming, maybe a second one. So he released 4 songs. That was interesting. It was interesting because he didn't go the obvious route of just doing like basic beats. Like all the beats on there sound different somehow, which I found really interesting. Sabiwu with Okoa Sem. That's a very conceptual song. Yeah, that was interesting. I need to listen to that again to catch everything he said, but that was interesting. What else? What else did I listen to? What else? Mr. Lou. Was that this? Yeah, Mr. Lou. Mr. Lou and Blinky Bill team up. Well, it's a team up. But then Mr. Lou remix Nataka Toa. And Afam said that Afam said that they both sound the same. So it's like the remix sounds like an original.
Yeah, I feel like Mr. Lou, in my head, when it comes to production, Mr. Lou and Blinky Bill, they're like so similar. I think that's a compliment. I feel like they have like just a similar vibe. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. Kimwenga by Koni Kanu and Koni and Kanu are different people, by the way, or Konai and Idaziz. That dropped, so shout out to Idaziz. Shout out to Fena Gitu. The last one I'll highlight is Love Art Lost, which was released last year. Fena and Eric. Not Eric. What's Eric? No. Fena and...
Sam, are you going through something?
I was about to say Eric Musioka. No, Musioka definitely did not produce on this. No, Fena and Mike Mwema teamed up for it's called an Electric Deluxe for her album Love at Lost. And it's 7 tracks, 7 remixes. Some of them are pretty cool. I really like the track number 5, Sinabe, and number 7, Guns N' Roses. Yeah, it's an interesting concept. I'd love to see more artists do this, where they release, like, instead of just doing like a basic deluxe, throwing more songs on there. We don't even do that in the first place. But if we were to do that, and then like doing a whole remix project of like your song, and then just giving them to someone to reimagine them, like that's cool. So yeah, a bunch of different things, but then there's a lot. What do you want to?
Ikitoka by Genesis and Omawama Fegi released. Well, they released Ikitoka and produced by Jamie, and it was Cap. There's also a video, so y'all can go and check that one out. Let's see. Average by Bueno and Kimberly Mali. Has anybody ever seen Bueno's face? If you have seen Bueno's face, please comment on the podcast. I'd be very interested to know. Budapest Mellow with AP, 8th Street Gang. That's more drill stuff for your head top. Kale Kadem by Nasty Nasty and Father Mo. That came out. I feel like, and Sam was saying this before the podcast, yes, I'm throwing you under the bus. I feel like Father Mo is watering himself down because he's on too many songs at this point. And
yeah, they're not hitting like we know Father Mo's songs to hit.
As much as I love the work rate, I think Father Mo should also be now he's proven. He's like you work hard and you're on all these songs, we get it. But I think he might need to like curate himself a little bit more. So he's just not, he doesn't give away his sauce too much. But that's just what I think.
Make them miss you.
Exactly. One of the Sauti Soul members released a song, and that member is Chimano. He released a song called Monster.
Why did you go the long way around?
Sometimes I just be yapping. Fly by Gavin Mungai and Israel Onyach also came out. Badi by Gwash, Master VK, Nasty Nasty. That also came out, so you'll go check that out. And that's all I listen to.
Before we go to the pick, Kolo dropped DEP Volume 1.
Yes, sir.
Remember the with the album.
You went for the
listening party.
The listening party, yes.
Yeah, so he dropped the project, and every single song on there every single song on there he had played it. So there's Kaende, Extraordinary, there's Cheza Biggie, the 2024 remaster, in case you're confusing it with the other one. And then there's Z Anthem, which was a single, I guess, that he dropped for that. So if you're a big fan of Kolo, this is Kolo music. If you're a huge fan of him, go check that out. Support the boy.
Support the boy.
Artist.
But Sam, I think for me the standout project was definitely Pakruok, and for me I think the standout song was Awee by Labdi and Ojwang. And so if you would allow me, Sam, I would love to play it for the end of the podcast. And so you guys, please enjoy the audio journey that is the song Awee by Labdi and Ojwang.
Pinje jokaleka simba mawanyuolo tindo lokore momo. Pinje jokaleka koda puyo maneriak ni tindu neno lokore ngiri. Olokore wololore robonyo wanyo matidende. Angola wolole bonyo tidende.
That was Awee by Labdi and Costa Ojwang. Congratulations on such an amazing project. Yeah, hats off to y'all.
Yeah.
And
Fire.
guys, that was episode 107 of the 30% podcast. Why did I do that? Anyway, glad you guys are here. Always, thank you guys so much for listening to us ramble about the music industry as if we are like some aficionados. Really appreciate you guys. And as always, you guys know I like to end the podcast. Well, if you're new here, I like to end the podcast with the 3 C's, which help me as well. And they are quickly or briefly confidence. I need you guys to be confident in your art, because if you're not confident, who will be confident in your art? Consistency. You need to be consistent in how you're creating your art as well as how you're releasing it. Always remember consistency. We live in a very saturated market right now. Everyone is doing the same thing. So be consistent. And lastly, craft. Always strive to improve. Always work on something. Even if it's small and you work on it for 5 minutes a day, all of that builds up. At the end of the year, you will have done 5 minutes for 365 days, and that's going to be valuable. So do that. Confidence, consistency, and craft. Sam.
And the last C is leverage.
The last C is leverage.
So as an artist, like one of the ways that you move forward, and this is now for the ones who are specifically like, people keep saying, I want to get signed. If you really want to get signed, you can't just get signed off talent alone. It doesn't work anymore. I'm sorry. You really have to build something of your own. So work on figuring out what you're strong at, and ownership. Make sure you do as much as you can to own as much as you can of it. And then you'll be able to sit in rooms and actually have talking points, not be at the mercy of the label's lawyers. But yeah, man, that's that. Episode 107. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.
Why did you... What? No.
Oh, you have some more things to say. Okay, sorry.
No, that was so... You know what? Fine. We will see you guys on episode 108.
My bad. Sorry. Cut my guy off. Did you... Sorry.
No,
Jenny,
I didn't.
Did you have something else
I didn't have anything to say. We're done. We're making it awkward now. Goodbye, guys.
No.
Goodbye.